Have you ever felt a chill run down your spine for no reason, like someone unseen was watching you? In upstate New York, there are places where silence tells stories of people who lived, loved, and never truly left. From forgotten hospitals to empty schools hidden in the woods, each location holds a secret trapped between the walls. Some call them legends, others call them haunted truths. Tonight, we're not just exploring places, we're stepping into memories that refuse to fade. Welcome to 5 Haunted Places in Upstate New York, Part 3. If you enjoy these real haunted stories, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more. And tell me in the comments which story gave you the biggest chill. 1 Hudson River State Hospital. The first time I saw Hudson River State Hospital, it didn't look haunted. It looked sad. The kind of sadness that sits quietly, waiting to be noticed. The massive Gothic towers rose above the trees like something out of another world. Time had eaten away at the walls. Paint peeled like old skin. Windows shattered, reflecting nothing but the grey sky above. As I stepped through the main gate, the air changed. It was colder, heavier. The silence wasn't empty, it was full. Full of things left unsaid. This hospital once treated thousands of patients, people who came here hoping to be healed. But many never left. Some died in isolation. Some simply disappeared into the system, their names lost to history. Inside, the corridors stretched endlessly. My flashlight beam cut through the dust, landing on broken hospital beds and rusted wheelchairs. The smell of damp plaster and iron filled the air. Every step echoed like it was being followed by another. I tried to ignore it. But the sound was always there, one step behind me. In one of the old patient wings, I found a door marked Ward 5. The lock was broken. I pushed it open slowly, and the hinges screamed in protest. The room was small. A single bed. A chair. And a mirror, cracked straight down the middle. I stepped closer. My reflection flickered for just a second, as if the glass remembered someone else standing there long ago. They say nurses once heard whispers coming from this very ward after midnight. Voices calling their names softly. Begging for help. I didn't believe it. Until I heard it too. A faint, trembling voice from behind me. It said something I couldn't understand, but I knew it wasn't the wind. My throat went dry. The air turned ice cold, and for a moment, I couldn't move. Then came the sound of footsteps. Slow. Careful. Moving toward me. I turned, flashlight shaking in my hand, but the hallway was empty. Still, I could feel someone standing there. Watching. Waiting. My pulse raced as I whispered, "I mean no harm." But the silence that followed felt like a reply. A quiet warning. When I finally stepped back outside, the sun had already set. The building stood behind me, dark and still. Yet I couldn't shake the feeling that it was watching me leave. The Hudson River State Hospital isn't just abandoned. It's filled with memories that refuse to die. And if you ever walk those halls alone, you might just hear them calling your name too. 2 Willard Asylum for the Chronic Insane, Ovid, New York. There's something different about Willard Asylum. From the outside, it looks like another forgotten building swallowed by time. But once you step closer, you feel it. The kind of silence that listens back. The kind that knows your name before you even say it. Built in 1869, Willard was meant to be a place of hope. A hospital for those the world had forgotten. But the truth is darker. Over 50,000 patients passed through these doors. Many never left. Their graves, unmarked, stretch across the fields behind the main building. Just numbers on rusted plaques. No names. No stories. Until now. The first thing that hit me inside was the smell. Dust, rust, and something faintly sweet, like old medicine left open too long. My footsteps echoed down the corridor, bouncing off cracked tiles and peeling walls. The deeper I walked, the heavier the air became. It was as if the building itself remembered every scream, every whisper, every secret it had ever heard. I found an old record room. Files scattered everywhere. Patient notes written in fading ink. One folder caught my eye. Mary B., admitted 1921. The paper inside trembled slightly in my hand, though there was no breeze. Her file said she was restless, hears voices at night. I set it down, but that's when I heard it. A woman humming. Soft. Distant. But close enough to feel real. I turned my flashlight toward the hallway. Empty. Still, the humming continued. Growing louder. It sounded like someone standing right behind me, but when I turned, the room was cold and silent again. My heart pounded against my ribs. I whispered, "Mary," and for a moment, the humming stopped. Then, 3 gentle knocks echoed from the next room. I followed the sound to what looked like an old dormitory. Dozens of rusted beds lined up like soldiers. In the corner, I saw a trunk. Dusty, untouched. I knelt and opened it. Inside were clothes, a diary, and a pair of worn-out shoes. The diary's first page said, "They said I'll be better here. But I don't feel better. I feel invisible." The words blurred before my eyes as the air around me turned icy cold. A sudden gust slammed the door behind me. My flashlight flickered. For a split second, in the broken mirror across the room, I saw a figure. A woman in a hospital gown, standing still, head tilted. Watching. Waiting. Then she was gone. When I finally stepped outside, dawn was breaking over the asylum. The sunlight hit the windows, but none of them reflected back. It was like the building refused to let the light in. Willard Asylum isn't just a piece of history. It's a reminder that some souls don't move on. They linger, whispering through time, hoping someone finally listens. 3 Old Washington County Jail, Greenwich, New York. Some places hold silence like a secret. The Old Washington County Jail is one of them. From the street, it looks small, almost harmless. But once you cross the iron gate, the air turns heavy. It feels like the walls remember everything that ever happened inside. Every scream. Every plea. Every breath that never made it out. Built in 1873, this jail held murderers, thieves, and men who had lost their minds. The cells were cold even in summer. Thick iron bars still hang there, rusted but strong. Locals say the building hasn't been truly empty since it closed. Some nights, lights flicker in the windows though there's no electricity. And if you listen closely, you can still hear the clink of chains in the dark. When I first entered, the air smelled like dust and metal. My flashlight revealed names scratched into the walls, desperate words left by people who wanted to be remembered. Still here. Forgive me. I didn't do it. The carvings looked fresh, though they were made decades ago. I walked deeper, every step echoing off the stone floors like a heartbeat out of rhythm. The main cell block stretched before me, row after row of empty cages. I stopped by cell 7. The door was half open, swaying slightly though there was no wind. Inside, a single cot and a broken cup on the floor. That's when I heard it, a soft metallic sound. Chains dragging. Slow. Rhythmic. Coming closer. I froze. My light flickered, and the noise stopped. I waited, my breath fogging in the cold. Then, clear as day, a voice whispered, "Don't leave me here." It was right beside my ear. I turned sharply, but no one was there. Just the echo of the words fading into the dark. In the hallway outside, something strange happened. The temperature dropped so fast that my hands began to shake. My flashlight dimmed again, and for a moment, I saw it, a shadowy figure standing behind the bars. Tall. Still. Watching. It didn't move. Didn't speak. Just stared until the light blinked out completely. When I finally stumbled outside, the sun had begun to rise. The sky glowed orange, but the jail looked darker than ever. Its windows seemed to absorb the light instead of reflecting it. I looked back one last time, and the gate that was open when I arrived was now closed. The old Washington County Jail isn't just abandoned. It's alive in the quietest way possible. Every sound, every shadow feels like a reminder that some sentences never truly end. Even after death. For Hyde Hall Mansion, Cooperstown, New York. Hidden near the peaceful Otsego Lake stands Hyde Hall, a grand mansion that once echoed with laughter, music, and the sound of life. But today, that laughter feels distant, replaced by whispers that move through its empty halls. Built in the early 1800s by George Clark, Hyde Hall was meant to be a symbol of wealth and success. Yet, behind its beautiful stone walls, it became a place of sorrow, loss, and unexplainable mystery. Locals say the haunting began soon after Clark's death. His family continued to live there, but they often spoke of strange things, footsteps on the staircase when no one was home, doors creaking open by themselves, and cold spots that made the bravest hearts tremble. Some guests claim to have seen the figure of a woman in white standing at the window, staring out toward the lake, as if waiting for someone who never returned. Over the years, Hyde Hall became known as one of the most haunted mansions in upstate New York. Paranormal investigators have visited many times, and their devices often pick up whispers, faint music, and voices calling names that no one recognizes. One investigator even said he felt a gentle hand brush against his shoulder, though he was completely alone in the room. The most chilling story is about the crying room. People who enter this small chamber near the old nursery report an overwhelming sadness, as if the walls themselves are mourning. It's believed that one of Clark's children died there long ago, and her spirit never found peace. Even today, when visitors walk through the mansion, they say the air feels heavy, like the past refuses to let go. Some hear faint piano notes drifting through the corridors, even though the piano has been untouched for decades. Others see flickers of light in rooms that should be dark. Hyde Hall stands proudly on the hill, overlooking the lake, beautiful yet unsettling. It's more than a mansion, it's a reminder that even the most elegant places can hide stories that time cannot erase. Those who visit often leave with one feeling, that someone, or something, is still watching from the shadows. 5. The Beardsley Castle, Little Falls, New York. Standing tall in the quiet town of Little Falls, Beardsley Castle looks like something straight out of a fairy tale, with its stone towers, Gothic arches, and majestic halls. But beneath its beauty lies a darkness that has lingered for over a century. What was once a home of love and luxury slowly became a place of fear, tragedy, and restless spirits. The castle was built in the mid-1800s by Augustus Beardsley, who wanted it to resemble an Irish castle. For years, it was filled with grand parties, laughter, and music. But when Augustus and his family passed away, the castle changed forever. Local legends say strange things began happening soon after, faint voices echoing through the hallways, doors slamming shut without wind, and lights flickering even when the power was steady. In the 1910s, a massive fire tore through the castle, destroying much of the interior. The owners rebuilt it, but the haunting seemed to grow stronger. Workers reported seeing shadowy figures watching them from corners and hearing footsteps pacing above them when no one was upstairs. Some even refused to come back to work after nightfall. Years later, when the castle was turned into a restaurant, the paranormal activity didn't stop, it became more personal. Guests have reported cold hands touching their shoulders, silverware moving on its own, and whispers near their ears when the room was empty. Employees tell stories of seeing a man in old-fashioned clothing standing near the fireplace, believed to be Augustus Beardsley himself, still guarding his beloved castle. One of the eeriest encounters happened in the wine cellar. Staff members claim to have heard a woman softly crying from the dark corner of the basement. But when they turned on the lights, no one was there. Some say it's the spirit of a maid who died tragically during the castle's early years, forever tied to the place she once served. Even today, Beardsley Castle welcomes visitors for dinner, weddings, and ghost tours. But many say that after the guests leave and the lights dim, the castle awakens. You might hear footsteps echoing down the staircase or a distant voice calling your name. Beautiful on the outside, haunted on the inside, Beardsley Castle remains one of upstate New York's most mysterious landmarks, where history and the supernatural walk hand in hand through time.